Yo, what is up guys, welcome back to another World War II video, and today we're going to be going through why World War II is bad. I'm not trying to hate on this game or anything, I'm just giving my feedback on what's like broken or stuff that made this game feel like a very bad game, like such as lack of maps, and there's more. I'll be going through all the points that I've written down and talking through each one of them and having my take on this. So I'm not really hating on this game, because next video you'll see is why World War II is good, and so far I don't have that many points for why World War II is good. I have a lot for why it's bad, but not why it's good. But hopefully I can add some more points as I get used to this game and play it a bit more. And yeah, let's get into the video and let's get into the first point.
Why you mad? Why you mad? Get glad. Stop hating on my swag. Stop hating on my shit. You whiny like a bitch.
Alright, so the first point is the bad launch. So basically, if you remember, the first few days this game was pretty much unplayable. Like, the issues were connecting to multiplayer. It always said error for like, oh, I don't know, it felt like ages for me, but it was probably like 2-3 days. The game was broken, no one could play. Headquarters also was broken as soon as we like got access to the game. We were supposed to have people in headquarters, but it was broken because there was like, I think more people expected actually playing the game than they thought. But this doesn't make sense, because if they knew lots of people were playing this game, why wouldn't they like check the pre-orders? And once they see like, oh, there's like, I don't know, 1 million people pre-ordering, which there wasn't, I don't think, just say there was, oh, there's 1 million people, why don't we just fix it so the servers are okay for 1 million people? They could have done that, but obviously they didn't really think it out through, and that's why I think World War II was bad. But it's not got to do with now more. Like, that was at the start, but now it's still having a bit of problems. Like, sometimes I disconnect, laggy, sometimes there's a few like inconsistencies in this game, but for what it is now, it's fixed. But there's still a lot of like bugs and glitches that disconnect and like lag us out of the games. So that's the first point. We're going to move on to the second point, which is bad maps. So I'm looking at you, Carrington. Like, people think, I think Gustav Cannon, people think that's a bad map. It's pretty good if you know the power spots, which is on top of the big missile thing, whatever you call it. If you're on that, then you're going to do good. No matter where you are, you're going to destroy the enemies. If you're on the bottom, you don't have the height advantage. So people think that map's really bad, but there's pretty bad maps in this game, which I think is Carrington mostly. Like, why would you remaster Carrington if it was made in like COD 3 or whatever it was? And if it was a poorly made map back then, which I don't think it was, I think it ran really well in that game. That's what I heard from people. But if it did run bad, why would you remaster a really poorly made map? I think it's got to do with the spawns in this game. It's not really got to do with the map layout, because it's the same map layout from the previous game, whatever it was. And also, why Carrington is very bad is because everyone just camps in windows. Basically, most of the time you'll see someone overlooking your spawn in a window, and if you're not looking up there, you'll have no idea and you'll die really quickly. And once you go back there, they'll probably move to another window. It's just annoying when they're camping upstairs. There's not really many ways to get to them except for like a door. And yeah, let's get into the next point. Bad maps weren't a big deal, because there's only a few bad maps that I could name, like Carrington and USS Texas. That's my opinion, but some people might like those maps. But it's not really the bad maps, it's lack of maps, because World War II, it released with I think 9 maps, and these 9 maps, you know, they're not like the best maps ever made. So they released with 9. I think that's like the lowest amount of maps in a COD game. So World War II is setting records, really low records of the lowest. And if you don't think that's bad enough, in DLC 1, which is coming out Jan 31st or something, we only get 3 multiplayer maps, 1 war map, and a zombies map. Like, come on. They could have done better. Like, if these if all 4 of these maps are great, then that's fine, but if 1 or 2 are bad and there's only 2 good maps, then what's the point of that? Like, they only added 3 really maps, and War is a good game mode, but it doesn't really count. I really enjoy War. Hope that is actually a good map, that War map, because I will be playing it. I like to relax and not care about your KD, and yeah, that's basically lack of maps. Next is bad gun balance. So, you know, the semi-autos are not that great in this game. You can obviously tell if you're trying to compete, like, what's it called, M1A1, oh, that's just trash. I'm just gonna wait for a buff to get that gold. I'm not gonna try and get it now. They're really useless, the semi-autos, except for, I think, the M1 Grand. That's actually a good weapon. M1 Grand's pretty good. There's mainly bad gun balance with the semi-autos, that's all I feel. And maybe a few of the shotguns, really. That's not really a bad thing, because they can easily fix these by patching them, but I feel like they're not going to get noticed to these rifles. Like the SVT, that's straight trash. All you see around is the bar, the PPSH, what else, the FG, the STG, that's basically the game. It's not like, oh, I can compete with the other guns by using the SVT. You can't, it's just not going to work. Alright, so the next point is basically why I don't really like Ww2, and it's the chrome camo. Like, come on, they made this camo look worse than diamond. Like, come on, it's supposed to be an end game camo, like dark matter, that was amazing, and they changed dark matter, so I kind of feel like they might do the same to chrome, but I don't know. Or if they don't want to do that, they could nerf diamond, like what they did in Black Ops 3. They nerfed diamond as well. Well, not really nerfed, they changed it to make it look uglier. And chrome, it really looks good only on heroics, and also diamond only looks good on heroics. Epics, the camos look trash, and on the base they look okay, but heroics they look amazing. This is not really a bad thing, because I'm going to address this in the next video, why heroic weapons look the best and why that's actually a good thing. This has got to do with supply drops. It's not a good thing that they want us to pay for them, but supply drops are really good, and I'll explain that in the next video. So that's chrome. It doesn't look that great, and it only looks really good on heroic weapons. Next is DLC weapons. Yes, they added DLC weapons, and they're not really bad. The only bad thing I could think of them is OP, which they weren't. The Sten was like, you know, it was okay. I didn't really use it much. It did compete. I think it was like well balanced. Like, you could compete with the PPSH and all that. It's pretty well balanced. It's not like it wasn't like Black Ops 3 where the XMC was overpowered and everyone wanted that. All the guns were kind of equal, but I kind of felt like, you know, the LMG was straight up trash. Like, they should have buffed the reload speed or done something about that, because 5 seconds to reload that with a high fire rate, I never even touched that gun. It's so trash. So I'll explain why DLC weapons are actually good as well, because, you know, Sledgehammer actually added them very well into this game, and it's not really like sellout or pay to win. It's pretty easy to get these, so I'll explain this in the next video. So my next point is the bullet detection. So if you've played a lot of World War II, you may have noticed that sometimes you feel like your bullets are not registering even though you're hitting the person. This could be to do with flinch. Like, one of my videos ago I was sniping and the flinch made me miss my sniper shot. But I feel like sometimes the hit detection is really bad. I'll roll some clips of people like shooting and missing. Like, I think if I can get this clip up, it was the Type 100. This guy was drop shotting and he shot every one of his bullets on the guy, but yet he didn't get a hit mark or killed him. So I still think the bullet detection is now better than it was before, but it was pretty trash when it started off, I have to admit. Yeah, let's get into the next point. So the next point is skill-based matchmaking, and what I'm going to talk about is the teams, like, they feel unbalanced, and sometimes they feel like, I don't know, I get put with the noobs and the other team's got like 3 prestige 5s, prestige master. I'm like, what? How do these people get put on that team? I don't get it. I think they put connection less of a favor when finding your team, so they're mainly talking about like skill based instead of connection, and trying to make the game playable, because sometimes connection makes the game really laggy and causes bad hit detection. So my next point is how the visuals look in World War 2. So if you do look at a video of World War 2, you can see it's very grayed out, bland, not much colors, and it's not very visually stunning or anything like that. It just looks plain and boring and unsaturated. So people said, oh, it's just a World War 2 game, but there was colors in World War 2. It's not like everything was black and white in World War 2. So why couldn't they just make this game look much better than it does look now? I'll give you a little example. Here's what it looks like just normal when you're playing. This is a 720p footage, but that's what it looks like. And then now, boom, that's with saturation and more CC on top of this video, and look how good that looks. You can see like the water looks good, the trees, everything just pops. The gun looks much better. They could have easily just done this into the game, but they made it look really bad and really like unsaturated. I still think they should have made this game look better, and maybe like, you know, I don't know how it works, but they could have done something to make things pop out and make them look more vibrant like Black Ops 3 was. Alright, so my second and last point is the pick 10 system is not in this game, and the main reason I'm not happy with this is grenade spamming. Grenade spam is all over war, any game mode really. You try and go on like the B flag and you get like 100 grenades tossed at you and you die, obviously. So I do think this is a great way to innovate and change up the system, but it's very bad because grenade spam is everywhere, and maybe they could change it up so like you have to have a pistol or a grenade. So if you have a pistol, you don't have a grenade, and if you have a grenade, you don't have a pistol, something like that, so not everyone will be running grenades and it'll cause less grenade spam. I'll also be talking why this is okay in the next video. It's not the best, but it's an okay system, so I'll be talking that in the next video. And let's get into the last point of the video. So my last point is about the score streaks. So if you haven't heard, score streaks are not that great in this game. Like there's stuff like paratroopers where they're, you know, okay, they get like a couple of kills. Even the last score streak that you earn, which is like the one that takes like 20 kills or something, even that is not that great. You'll get like 5 kills, maybe even more, but it's not worth it, as it's really hard to get for some people and it's not that rewarding. Even the fighter pilots, like sometimes I aim right above people and you can see that they're out in the open and it won't even shoot at them, and I'm like, I don't know why it's doing that. Sometimes I get like 1 kill, sometimes 2 kill. It's not that great, but score streaks are pretty weak in this game. Maybe they could buff them, or maybe they keep it like this so it's not that important if you get your score streaks. And also talking about score streaks, yes, I would like a hater kind of streak, but that wouldn't fit into the World War 2 because there was obviously no haters or VSATs in World War 2. They just had to use like UAVs and stuff like that. So I don't think they should add that, but that would be pretty cool if they did. And that's pretty much the whole video, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I was just wanted to talk about why World War 2 is not that great and my opinion on World War 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed, have a good one, and peace out.